Chōjirō Sasakibe. The 1,000-year blood war begins with a shocking loss that instantly shatters the peace of the Soul Society. Chōjirō Sasakibe, Captain Yamamoto's loyal lieutenant for over 1,000 years, is brutally killed during the Quincy's initial strike. Most fans never realized how strong Sasakibe actually was because he always chose to stay in Yamamoto's shadow. It was only after his death that a furious Yamamoto revealed that Sasakibe had mastered his powerful lightning Bankai long before many of the current captains were even born. His sudden death wasn't just the first casualty, it was a grim warning that this time, nobody was safe. Genryūsai Yamamoto. If Soul Society had an absolute symbol of strength, it was Captain Commander Yamamoto. Driven by pure rage, Yamamoto enters the battlefield and unleashes his terrifying Bankai, Zanka no Tachi, a weapon so hot it could evaporate all of Soul Society. After defeating a clone of Yhwach, the real Quincy King steps out from the shadows and steals Yamamoto's devastating Bankai. Left weaponless and exhausted, even the strongest Shinigami stood no chance. Yhwach brutally cuts Yamamoto down, ending the life of the man who had protected the Gotei 13 for a millennium. Honestly, when Yamamoto's flame went out, it felt like the war was already lost. Retsu Unohana. At first, Captain Unohana looked like the kindest healer in the Gotei 13, but the truth hidden behind her gentle smile was far darker. She was the first Kenpachi, and one of the most ruthless killers in history. To unlock Kenpachi Zaraki's true, suppressed potential, she challenges him to a brutal fight to the death. She repeatedly kills and heals him during the battle, forcing his limits to break and his real strength to awaken every single time. Once Zaraki finally surpasses her, Unohana accepts her fate with a peaceful smile. Sometimes, the greatest teacher gives everything, including their own life. Jūshirō Ukitake. Unlike most captains, Ukitake didn't die at the hands of an enemy. When Yhwach stabs the Soul King and reality begins to collapse, Ukitake makes a desperate sacrifice to save the three worlds. He reveals that as a child, he was saved by Mimihagi, the right hand of the Soul King. To stabilize the worlds, Ukitake performs a ritual, offering his entire body as a vessel to replace the fallen deity. While his sacrifice buys the hero's invaluable time, it ultimately drains his life force entirely. After surviving a lifetime of illness, Ukitake's final battle became the one he couldn't walk away from. Bazz-B always acted loud and arrogant, but his story is one of the most tragic among the Quincy. He and Jugram Haschwalth were childhood friends who swore an oath of revenge against Yhwach. Instead, destiny twisted their paths. Jugram became Yhwach's right hand, while Bazz-B was left behind. When Yhwach triggers the Auswählen and betrays his own people, Bazz-B tries to fight Jugram to remind him of their original dream, but a duty-bound Jugram cuts his best friend down. Their final clash wasn't just a battle of powers, it was a brotherhood shattered by war. Nemu Kurotsuchi. During the horrific battle against Pernita, Nemu proves she is far more than just a synthetic puppet or Mayuri's experiment. Breaking her strict orders to stay back, she throws herself into the line of fire to save her creator. She pushes her artificial body past its absolute cellular limits, unleashing an incredible blast of spiritual pressure that shatters the enemy. However, the overwhelming strain completely destroys her body. Ironically, the mad scientist who always treated Nemu like an object finally realizes how much she truly meant to him. Even Mayuri couldn't calculate the pain of losing her. Jugram Haschwalth. Jugram spent his entire life serving Yhwach with absolute, blind loyalty. But deep down, he never truly forgot his childhood bond with Bazz-B, and the guilt of killing his best friend began to eat away at him. The ultimate betrayal comes when Yhwach ruthlessly activates a final Auswählen, stripping Jugram of his powers. Realizing his lifelong loyalty meant nothing to his king, Jugram accepts his fate. In his final moments, he uses his remaining strength to save Uryu Ishida so he can go help Ichigo. The man who devoted his whole life to a tyrant finally made his own choice. 8. Yhwach. Finally, the war reaches its cataclysmic conclusion. After absorbing the Soul King, Yhwach becomes a god capable of rewriting the future itself. Defeating someone who can change the timeline before a sword even, swings seemed completely impossible, but the arrogance of a god became his downfall. Thanks to Aizen's illusions creating the perfect blind spot, Uryu, Ishida is able to fire a still silver arrow that momentarily halts Yhwach's powers. Seizing that single window of mortality, Ichigo Kurosaki delivers the final strike. The Quincy King was undone, bringing the 1,000-year blood war to an end. The man who claimed he could see every future never saw his own ending coming. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Bleach breakdowns.